On February 18 at 9:42 a.m., Crispin Glover files a 27-page legal response denying 11 abuse allegations and demanding damages. By 10:17 a.m., his attorneys accused the accuser of calculated distortion. One paragraph changes everything. The filing doesn't just deny. It counters. It lists dates, timestamps, private messages, and a claimed $4.8 million reputational loss in 14 months. His team says the narrative is engineered. And that's not even the worst part. At 11:03 a.m., a second statement drops. Categorically false. Malicious. Financially motivated. 3 phrases. Zero hesitation. Industry insiders start whispering about contracts, NDAs, and a set shutdown nobody publicly confirmed. But that's not even the worst part. Everyone assumes the allegations end careers overnight. But by 3 p.m., streaming numbers tied to Glover's past projects spike instead of collapse. Silence was expected. Instead, the phones won't stop ringing. So what is actually happening behind the scenes? Here's the contradiction. The complaint describes a pattern over 9 months. His legal team produces a timeline claiming he was filming 3,000 miles away during 2 key incidents. 2 timelines. Same dates. Both can't be true. And here's the number that changes everything: $3.5 million. That's the civil figure being floated privately as a possible settlement discussion. Not admission. Not defeat. Strategy. But settlement talks don't mean surrender. They mean calculation. Lawyers measure risk in months, headlines in hours, and juries in unpredictable emotion. One wrong move here could echo for years. Behind closed doors, studios monitor quietly. Contracts often include morality clauses, some triggered by conviction, others by accusation alone. One clause reportedly gives 48 hours to respond before termination. The clock matters. Publicly, Glover remains still. No social media posts. No interviews. Just filings. Silence becomes its own strategy. And in Hollywood, silence can either protect you or bury you. Then, a screenshot circulates. A private message timestamped October 14 at 11:58 p.m. It appears to contradict part of his timeline. Within minutes, it trends in 12 countries. Context becomes currency. White medium star in a single line, his filing states, being accused is not being guilty. 8 words. It reframes the entire debate from morality to law. Supporters screenshot it. Critics dissect it. That sentence spreads faster than the allegations themselves. Meanwhile, industry analysts warn that even without a verdict, insurance premiums on future productions could rise by 20%. Studios calculate exposure before they calculate talent. That shift changes everything. The accuser's team signals they are prepared for discovery, subpoenas, depositions, sworn testimony under oath. That phase alone can stretch 14 months. And discovery is where quiet details become loud headlines. Glover's attorneys hint at a counterclaim for defamation if they prove intentional harm. That would flip the roles entirely, accuser becoming defendant. A 180-degree reversal. Few predicted this early. By March 3 at 9:17 a.m., both sides confirm mediation discussions remain possible. Not peace. Not closure. Just negotiation in a room without cameras. And sometimes that's where the real battles happen. Right now, there's no verdict. No settlement. Just 2 narratives racing toward the same courtroom. One claims calculated distortion. The other claims lived experience. And honestly? In cases like this, perception can decide before a jury ever does. The first crack looks small. A junior assistant mistakenly emails an internal memo referencing risk mitigation exposure. It circulates to 14 recipients before recall. By noon, screenshots exist. And suddenly, this isn't just about 2 people anymore. Glover's team moves fast. They demand takedowns within 24 hours, citing confidentiality and reputational harm. The deletions begin. But the more links disappear, the more archived copies resurface in darker corners of the internet. Then someone inside production forwards the memo to a former crew member. By 3:46 a.m., that crew member posts a cryptic message about protecting sets. It racks up 86,000 views before sunrise. Now the circle widens. The small problem becomes bigger. Two former collaborators quietly contact the accuser's legal team within 48 hours. Not to accuse. To clarify experiences. Clarify is the word that keeps echoing. And nobody knows what it means yet. Meanwhile, 3,000 miles away, a studio executive refreshes a spreadsheet labeled Insurance Contingencies. One column flashes red. Production on an upcoming project pauses for review. That pause costs $120,000 per day. Glover's attorneys counter with a press-ready timeline, 14 pages of color-coded dates meant to shut it down. They release it at 9:17 a.m. sharp. For 2 hours, it works. Then someone notices one missing weekend. That weekend, October 14th, connects to the 11:58 p.m. message already circulating. The contradiction feels small at first. Until analysts overlay travel records. A 90-minute window appears unaccounted for. And that window won't go away. The defense tries to seal supplemental filings, arguing privacy concerns. The court schedules a hearing for March 28 at 6:41 p.m. Sealing sounds like protection. But in high-profile cases, sealing fuels suspicion. Someone finds out about the sealing request before it's public. A podcast host hints at panic inside the camp. Within hours, advertisers quietly distance themselves from two related projects. And now money is moving. Stop. Look at the scale. In 72 hours, projected losses climb from $3.5 million to nearly $9.6 million across stalled deals and paused contracts. That number isn't final. It's accelerating. The cover-up begins softly. A PR consultant drafts a narrative pivot, focus on artistry, philanthropy, legacy. Interviews are lined up for April 12th. But reporters prepare harder questions than anyone expects. Meanwhile, the accuser's team leaks a single detail from discovery, an email chain referencing awareness. Just that word. Awareness. It suggests someone else knew. And that implication is radioactive. Glover files a motion accusing the leak of violating court protocol. It's meant to restore order. Instead, it confirms there is something worth leaking. And the public starts digging deeper. White medium star, the person everyone assumes protected him? According to a newly surfaced internal note, they flagged concerns 14 months earlier. And that's when we realize this wasn't hidden from everyone. Meanwhile, crew members begin speaking anonymously about uncomfortable energy on set. Not allegations. Just atmosphere. But atmosphere shapes perception faster than facts ever could. By April 12 at 2:17 a.m., a draft settlement outline leaks and signed, unofficial, but real enough to cause panic. It lists non-disparagement clauses and financial restructuring. The outline vanishes within hours. Glover's camp denies its authenticity by 8:42 a.m. But the denial references a paragraph number that only appears in the leaked version. That tiny detail keeps investigators awake. Someone inside legal notices the contradiction and quietly informs opposing counsel. Discovery requests expand overnight. What started as 11 incidents now includes 23 document demands. And the spiral tightens. The sealing hearing on March 28 approaches. Both sides prepare to argue what stays hidden and what goes public. In high-profile cases, what's hidden often screams louder than what's shown. And now, insiders whisper about a potential grand jury review if financial misrepresentation surfaces. That's a different arena entirely. Civil becomes criminal. And if that line is crossed, everything changes overnight. On March 28 at 6:41 p.m., the courtroom doors close for the sealing hearing. For 42 minutes, arguments fly over what the public can see. When the doors reopen, one exhibit remains sealed, and that silence lands heavy. Within 24 hours, both sides spin the outcome differently. His team calls it measured restraint. The accuser's camp calls it strategic hiding. Same ruling. Opposite headlines. And the gap between them widens fast. Then the insurance carrier steps in. A 12-page notice questions coverage if material misrepresentation is proven. It's technical language, but the implication is brutal: projects could collapse overnight. Glover's attorneys respond with a supplemental affidavit, sworn under penalty of perjury. They double down on travel logs, call records, and that 90-minute window. This time, the details are sharper and riskier. Meanwhile, a former crew member files a declaration describing said atmosphere concerns without direct allegations. It seems small. But small statements under oath can open doors no one meant to unlock. The judge sets a tentative trial window, November, 9 a.m. docket. That date feels distant, but calendars flip fast in high-profile cases. Every filing between now and then becomes ammunition. Behind closed doors, mediation resumes for 3 hours straight. No agreement. Just sharper demands and thinner patience. When both sides walk out separately, neither smiles and neither blinks first. Then a financial disclosure surfaces during discovery. It outlines projected earnings tied to upcoming releases, numbers that explain why this fight refuses to settle quietly. The stakes aren't emotional. They're exponential. As depositions approach, both sides prepare for testimony under oath. Words spoken there can't be edited, can't be reframed, can't be deleted. One slip could tilt everything. Right now, the case stands on a knife's edge: sealed exhibits, sworn affidavits, trial dates looming. One narrative claims distortion. The other claims harm. When November arrives, only one story survives.